Well, I learned a lot about the 100th Bomb Group. I had heard of the 8th Air Force before, but not this in depth. And my introduction to Rosie was just my first, when I first saw that script, and I just discovered who is this guy. I just kept asking, who is this guy? Where's and just went so deep into his world and was really blown away by him. And that's stuff that still sort of like sticks around with me. But I had watched Band of Brothers as a kid, right? And of course in the Pacific. And those things, were I think they're formative to a lot of guys on this. So it feels extra special in that way to have that kind of legacy behind it and then be able to step in and be a part of it. Dan Rosenthal, so Rosie's son, and actually Rosie's grandson, Sam, I got to meet both of them. And Dan is pretty involved in the 100th Bomb Group community, and he had, and he loved his dad and had so much. When I first met him over in England, he was there for some event because they had named this plane after Rosie, just as it happened, just kind of like a coincidence. And I met him, and he just had so much to share, and I could feel like the thing about it that was maybe the most meaningful, right, and the thing that I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to sort of like take this into this experience of shooting it, was just I felt the kind of like the quality of love for his father, and also having Sam there, right, and having this kind of like generational thing, like this father-son thing, and being there and being able to witness that. Was pretty beautiful. And also, I imagine it's pretty odd to meet someone who's going to portray someone in your family, right? Like if it were me and someone was like, oh, I'm going to play your dad. Like it's pretty serious, right? And I imagine pretty strange. But he was so gracious and so kind, and to have his blessing was important to me. These men really, at the end of the day, were fighting for each other, right? I mean, it's one thing to get to enlist, right, and to be part of the war and to be part, of that experience. But it's another thing when you're up there and you only have, your 9 other crew members to rely on. So those bonds form in such a deep way, right? Because you have to place this trust in one another. And because we got to shoot this over a long amount of time, we really got to know each other. And John understood how, as the writer understood how pivotal and how central that those bonds were in order to make it feel more live, more real. So by the end of it, we were all as close as could be. So many people worked so hard on this, and we really took our time, and what the special effects team was able to pull together, and to be able to. When I first watched it, I really was, I was blown away by it, and people have, with shows like this, people have sudden sort of connections to it, to the history, right? Maybe somebody has a grandfather who served or a great-grandfather who served. And that's been a really meaningful part of having this show roll out, is getting to meet people who feel that type of connection. It's rare for a project and makes it that much more special to work on.